What is macular degeneration?
It's an age-related deterioration of the eyes.
Okay. What kind of macular degeneration do you suffer from?
I originally had dry. At that time, I didn't have any treatments. It turned to wet over time, so now I get injections in both eyes.
Can you please differentiate the difference between dry and wet macular degeneration?
Like, think of a Frankfurter with the opening with the think of the Frankfurter bun.
So dry is pretty much just a less severe?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
In my case, it was.
Okay. So what does macular degeneration look and feel like?
It's hard to say what it looks like. And how it feels. Doesn't feel a thing. I had no idea that it had turned from dry to wet. That if I didn't do something, I was going to go blind, lose my sight. It's just something that comes on and you don't know. You don't know. That's the bad part.
When did you start to realize that your vision was beginning to fade?
Never realized it.
Until you had your eyes examined?
I never realized it. That my eyes were beginning to fade.
I mean, you had always had bad eyesight, so...
I had bad eyesight, but I wore glasses to correct the vision. So there was nothing to give me any warning. The only thing you do is you look at a grid with lots of lines going vertical and horizontal. And you study the grid, you look at it. And if your lines are wavy, they're not like they should be, you start to, then you really get yourself immediately to a retinologist or an ophthalmologist.
How much do you think the environment affected the progression of your disorder versus genetics?
I don't believe that the environment had anything to do with it. I think this is strictly a genetic thing.
Who else in our family has had macular degeneration, and what kind of macular did they have?
My grandfather, way back now, he passed away in 1955, so this goes back many years before they really had treatments or diagnosis of macular degeneration. And I'm sure he had it because he had difficulty seeing the television and couldn't read. He couldn't read. Then I had, my sister has macular degeneration. My sister has macular degeneration, but she doesn't get any treatments. And, so hers is getting progressively worse.
What kind of macular degeneration does she have?
She has what?
How does Aunt Kalita's untreated macular affect her today?
Affect her?
Mm-hmm.
It affects her driving ability.
Does she still have a license to drive?
Oh, yes. Yes. But she goes, when California, you go, I think she had to go every year to be tested by the Division of the Driving to get
like
a test.
The DMV of California.
Thank you very much. Mm-hmm. That's just what I'm looking for.
What kind of treatment was available to you when you were first diagnosed?
What kind of treatment? It's a medication that was, I think, first came from Great Britain. It starts with an A. It's a very scientific name, and I don't know the name of it. But I have treatments in each eye. First, I go through the whole series of eye tests, taking pictures of the eyes, everything within, and they determine, do I need a treatment then, or can I go another week? But I go for treatments in both eyes.
And
never at the same time in both eyes.
What do those entail?
Okay. Well, after you go through, your eyes are dilated, then you have a series of 1, 2, 3 different machines where your eyes are examined internally. They can see all these pictures coming up. Then if you need a treatment, there's a special room. You may not touch your eyes at all, can't touch your face while this is being done. You get an anesthesia, layers over your eyes. They anesthetize your eye. I get 3 layers because I'm very susceptible to the hurt, and I twitch in Yeah, I'm very sensitive. I twitch in the chair. They prepare it by swabbing your eyes to clean it, and they do that. They do. They have to insert. This is not the most pleasant part. They have to insert a plastic piece in your eye to keep your eyelid open, so that you're not blinking and closing the eye. It will stay open. That's the part that hurts. They cover your face, the top part of your face, with a white cloth, and they direct you what to do. They tell you, look up, depending upon which eye. If it's the right eye that's being done, I have to look over to my right, all the way up, look up at the fingers, look up, and there. And then if it's the left eye, look up, this way, that way. Then afterwards, they inject you with 3 different needles that has the medication in it. Then they remove that plastic eyepiece that was in your eye, and they clean your eyes, because your eyes are now with the anesthesia layers and all that. And the whole procedure takes maybe 10 minutes.
And how did that slow down the progression of your macular degeneration? Do you know the science behind it?
No, I don't. All I know is that the medication apparently is doing something, so that I can have eyesight in both eyes. I can see. And without it, I think I would lose my eyesight. Oh, there's no surgery for this.
The surgery that you had on your eyes.
Oh, the surgery I had for my eyes was to remove the cataracts. Cataracts are totally different. Totally different. That's also like an age-related disease, the cataracts. Totally different. No. The macular degeneration.
So you continue to go for those treatments even though you've even though you've had your cataract surgery?
Cataracts have nothing to do with macular degeneration. Absolutely nothing. And I do go for the injections every 10 to 11 weeks.
And so if you hadn't received the treatment, you believe that you
I would
lose blind?
I would lose my vision. Yeah.
Completely blind? Or just...
I can't say completely blind. It may be what they call legally blind, where you can only see certain things. Because with macular degeneration, what happens to you, this is what happens to you. You lose the sight going straight ahead.
So you can only see out of your peripherals.
You can only see out this way.
Yeah.
But you can't see straight ahead. The peripheral vision, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And how does your macular affect you today? Do you see any progression of it, or has it pretty much been kept at a standstill?
It's status quo. It's status quo. As long as I go for the injections.
Well, thank you very much, Bubby.
Well, I just hope that when you're older, you will take care of your eyes. You should always, always wear glasses when you go out during the daytime. Even if you don't think it's very sunny, there is that ray that comes from the sky. You should
ray from the sky.
Yes. What is the ray that comes from the sky? Okay, whatever. But you should wear sunglasses. You have to protect your eyes. And don't wait till it's too late. And I told my daughters, I have 2 daughters, as you know, get yourself a baseline. Get yourself a baseline now, and then go once a year to the ophthalmologist and see how it is from one year to the next. Don't let it go, because you'll lose your sight. I have a niece who is deaf, and my niece said to me, true, I'd rather be deaf than be blind. So that gives you some insight. Okay, and I hope you kids all learn. Take care of your eyes.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay,
Bubby.
my pleasure. Okay.